Hello everyone, I'm Chester44, also known as Spelai, and welcome to this Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. Last episode, we explored through the rest of Hasongo, everywhere we could find, inside each of the buildings, and cleared out all the Naga we could find. Now, however, it's time for us to get into the lighthouse here and see what we can deal with inside. Jody unfortunately got a bit wounded, but the lighthouse is quiet, but for soft, sibilant whispers. There's a repetitive, incantatory quality to them. Yet as you cross the threshold, an old Naga with skin like cracked leather breaks off. He swivels to face you, bearing one broken fang.
The sea-striped fiends send you to uproot the tree of the gods, yes? Their blasphemy knows no bounds.
Give the order, Captain. Or just nod. I'm not picky.
Maya's upper lip pulls back in a grimace. His head twitches in her direction, his tongue flickering.
So, the fiends corrupt even the sand-striped ones. Now I taste their stench on her. If you join them in befouling the Adra, then you will join them in death, too.
They died honorably. Show some respect.
They have received their due, as will all who plunder and profane the treasure of the gods. Go! Carry a warning of what you have seen to the other shufflers.
His tongue whips from his mouth like a ripped streamer. What warning do you expect me to deliver?
That shufflers must not disturb these roots, or the gods will destroy the islands again.
The other Naga hiss in agreement. You're saying the gods have brought ruin on Deadfire before? He bares his broken fang in surprise.
Do your stories say nothing of the many disasters? Of the shuffler nests washed away like foam? Many generations ago, the sand-striped ones built great hives across the islands, and bastions around the Adra roots.
At this, the others hiss angrily. Sand-striped. You're describing the Huana.
Their ancestors, yes. Their meddling displeased the gods. So the gods smashed their works with heaving volcanoes and crashing waves.
His beads and bangles rattle as he brings his hands together in a loud clap. So you think history is repeating itself?
You shufflers are beasts of habit. You do not learn. You do not change. You cast off your sheddings by night, only to put them back on at daybreak. You wrap yourself in filthy, worn-out things.
A tremor of disgust ripples through his body.
Our ancestors hid deep, where the waters quenched the fires and muffled the storms. They remembered while shufflers scattered. Now, the shufflers build again.
He thumps his tail on the floorboards.
The gods see. They will tear them all down.
Bareth sent me. I'm here doing the will of the gods.
The shuffler's tongue is thick with blasphemy. Kill her now, Sukan.
The other Naga draws into a tight coil as if preparing to strike. His tail whips on the ground as he considers you.
If your fat tongue speaks true, then give us proof.
The gods summon storms, call down moons. If they wanted Hasongo destroyed, they would not have left a single stone standing. Sugan regards you with a wary eye.
If this is not some fat-tongued lie, then show us. Approach. Restore the blessing of the gods to the Adra.
Thank you. I shall. Well, first I'm going to destroy this if I'm able. Okay, that was a bad move. Give me a moment. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't have destroyed that then. Fine. Let's approach the Adra.
As your hand touches the dim Adra, you feel the same cool, pricking sensation that you did when you touched the pillar near Port Mage. You concentrate on the pillar. The world around you swiftly falls away, leaving only the vast emptiness of the in-between. The Adra, and a multitude of golden threads undulating off into the distance. For a second time, you gather the threads in your mind and bind them together, forming a solid tether that ripples out toward its distant anchor. Again, a crack sounds from the terminus. Your consciousness is violently pulled along the cord. You are prepared for the sensation this time, but are still disoriented when you come to a sudden stop. You find yourself standing behind a familiar Titanic statue as it trudges through invisible waters. Standing at Eothas' shoulder, your soul is dwarfed by the massive god's form. Energy pulses along the tether, each wave feeding the Audra's movements. He stops. His head cranes behind him, again accompanied by the sound of stone shearing and buckling. His eyes rest upon you. He does not reach for the cord, but considers you for a long span of silence before speaking.
Hello again.
Your first attempt to contact me was brave. This second attempt, is it born out of desperation or something else? Why do you continue to follow me, Watcher of Cad Nua?
I like how I can actually call him a jackass. I want to prevent you from causing any more harm.
Though there is no change in his stone visage, there is a long pause before he speaks.
That's a great challenge you've taken on. Why?
The last time you appeared, it heralded the death of thousands.
At first, he does not respond, but there is a wavering from the light within him. A momentary dimming that allows you to see the souls within the Audra clearly.
I never sought violence or death, but Margarin and the Hand Occult have ensured that the world believes the madman Widewind tried to destroy the Deerwood and everyone in it.
Madman.
In truth, a war was what I desired, but not one of violence. I sought a war of conscience.
Pardon?
If people saw that the ruins so faithfully guarded by the Glanfathans were nothing more than machines the Angwithans had used to turn themselves into gods, what could that mean?
Eothas becomes silent. You can sense his presence advancing back along the cord between you. His energy flows over your hand, tendrils of light probing into the air around you. They poke and prod at the silent lost souls hovering in your vicinity.
Watch it.
You are in a unique position. In spite of the work of the Leaden Key and Hand Occult, you have seen through our facade. You know the god's true nature. Without the benefit of your knowledge, few mortals would be willing to accept the true history of their gods. After all, we weren't. The last time I walked Eora, I made a mistake in not revealing my true purpose. I believe you would understand it better than most.
Well, I'm honored.
Yes, I will tell you. But this is not the time. As I take this body farther from the lighthouse, the tether grows weaker, and I have already tarried too long. Soon this link will unravel completely. If I have not reached my destination when that happens, I will need to pull more souls from your world.
And where are you going? I'll meet you there.
The edges of Eothas' massive form blur and dissolve. The huge figure retreats from you. As it moves, the tether begins to rapidly unravel. As Eothas speaks, his voice sounds garbled, fragmented, and distant.
If you would know more, find me at the Ashen Maw in Margarin's Teeth. I must rest there before I begin my final work. When I leave that place, you will not be able to follow. Before I go, I should return some of this to you. I still have need of the great power of your soul, but I can spare you this portion.
A pulse of energy moves back along the golden cord toward you. It feels familiar, comforting, even before it contacts you. The energy washes over you, flooding you with feelings and memories you had thought long forgotten, until they settle back into the cracks of your soul. And then the tether and cord snap, Eothas' figure evaporating into dust that mingles with the endless gray expanse. Heat rushes over you, and the uncomfortable sensation of the Audra Pillar's presence cuts off. The gloom of the in-between is pierced by the light of the living world. You are back in the lighthouse, no longer dim. The luminous Audra beside you is filled with warmth and light.
There you go. I guess that means that works. The Naga stare at the glowing Audra, their diamond pupils wide. Sugan turns his gaze to you, his body in a cautious half-coil.
Long have we kept peace with the sand-striped people. But then, the foreign ones came and spread. Killed our people. Built their hives everywhere.
Your type weren't exactly accommodating.
We were sure the Godwalker came to cast them out. That driving them away was a holy mission.
The gods have bigger concerns than our feuds. We must learn to live together.
But on whose terms? We must go. I know not what this means, but our brethren should hear of it.
Not an option, Snake. Bet you were keeping count of how many good soldiers you fanged.
Maya narrows her eyes and draws her weapon. And now he owes us. A debt is more useful than blood.
Captain?
Pace yourself. We have more important fights ahead of us.
Aye, aye. Ma'am.
Gritting her teeth, Maya secures her weapon and stands down, her fists balled at her sides.
You show us something new today, Shuffler. Thank you for this. And for your mercy.
He presses something into your palm before departing. +1 intellect, longer beneficial effect duration, and lower hostile effect duration. Interesting. Well, okay then. And I'm just going to destroy this because they're not here to tell me I can't. Alright, head to the top. There's the lighthouse. Random bomb and a lonely
No can
cat.
do.
Corlagon. Let's see. Area of effect attacks do more damage, and your party's healing potions and abilities are more effective. I mean, the healing abilities, sure. Healing potions, I never use. Damage from area of effect, maybe. Strand of Favor. Darkest Before Dawn, right. That's what you... That's actually not a bad thing to have for you. Accuracy against spirits. We'll go with this one instead. You can keep what you have at the moment. Okay.
Suits me, eh?
And you have something to say, do you, Maya?
Captain, a word?
What's on your mind, soldier?
You've spoken to Eothas, which means you know what we're up against. If the fleet sailed up to him and fired every cannon at once, I imagine we'd have a fighting chance at taking a chip off his kneecap. There's no stopping him, is there?
Not everything can be solved through violence.
Get used to it. That's how things get done in this part of the world.
She sighs away some of her tension, rolling her shoulders and cracking her neck.
I suppose there's a certain appeal to recognizing the inevitable. We don't have to waste our breath trying to stop it.
Care to elaborate on that?
It reminds me of the first time I shot to kill.
Maya folds her arms and grins. Can you spare the gory details?
Captain, that's the best part. There he stood, a pirate captain barking orders from the forecastle. Out of everyone's range but mine.
Maya holds up her hand to frame a distant spot.
The wind toyed with us. I took aim, never thinking I'd make the shot, but then I felt this awareness, like someone out there was aiming me. A cannon blast took me by surprise. I squeezed off a shot, expecting it to fly wide, but the bullet took my target between his eyes.
She traces a circle over her brow.
I don't know if Bareth kicked open a door or the Sky Mother held my hand, but That man was meant to die. I've got that same feeling now. Better or worse, I know that Eothas is meant to succeed.
Ever question your career choice?
Choice is a funny word. I never planned to live by the gun. One day I put a bullet through a Bronzoa while the Ranganui happened to be watching, and the rest was history. I can still take pride in my work, if that's what you're asking.
Time will tell if Eothas getting what he wants is good for the rest of us.
Hope I didn't take the wind out of your sail. Whether or not we can change anything, at least we can say we were there. That's more than most people get. I've got some answers.
Alright. Well, seems like that's all we got there. Let's move on. I think we can go tell the other people that we've managed to get rid of the Naga. Their leader's still alive, but we've managed to negotiate a peaceful allowance of them to leave. Oh! Yep, they're leaving.
If I'd known there were that many in the water.
Right. So, 2 places to check. First, we'll go to the engineering workshop.
You were gabbing with my god again, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
When the captain goes all starry-eyed like that, the crew starts to ask questions.
I was rather hoping someone else would bring that up.
If you got something to tell us.
Eothas is heading to a place called Mogren's Teeth.
So what you're saying is we're headed to Mogren's Teeth, right?
She scratches the underside of her jaw, contemplating.
You're looking upright, Captain. But something in your eyes tells me different.
It's strange, feeling part of my soul in the body of a god. Maya frowns thoughtfully.
Oh, good thing we're in the Deadfire, where the volcanoes definitely aren't going to awaken at any time.
Indeed. Right, as I was saying, first we'll stop there so we can tell the guy that you don't have to worry about riding... Well, okay, you're probably still going to, but we're getting help, okay? You can calm down and relax. Then we'll go tell the remaining survivors. Alright, first things first, right in here. Hey there.
Do you need something? If
I have
not,
nothing to
should
say to you. Okay, never mind then. In that case, let's go right down to here. I am glad I have this fast mode ability. It makes things easier. Well, quicker. Whatever, you get the point.
Scale-bellied cowards! I knew they'd run!
Ah, there you are.
Look at our beacon. Even the Colossus couldn't destroy it. And those snakes aren't so tough now, are they?
She looks up at the lighthouse, giddy with relief. You underestimated the dangers here before. It would be unwise to do so again.
Of course.
She nods, but she's still staring up at the lighthouse.
We'll rebuild bigger and better, with reinforced walls and extra cannons. Our engineers will make this place truly impregnable.
She finally turns to you.
The Hamzanui will want to thank you personally for your help here. And she should also know what we're up against.
She eyes the dawn stars and the crater's footprint. Where can I find the Hazanui?
She's usually at the Brass Citadel in Nekataka. Though she gets called to the palace often, haggling with the Queen and the Valians.
Actually, I'm headed to Mogren's Teeth.
Looking for a real challenge after what you did to those scale bellies?
She laughs, a brittle edge creeping back into her voice.
The only thing I know about the place is it's supposedly made of fire. And no one's ever come back from it.
She swallows, fear making hollows of her eyes.
But anything can be overcome.
Farewell then.
Clear skies.
And Byrne. I believe that is the person we need to talk to for Adair. Well, we're here, so we may as well.
Light of Eothas be upon you, neighbor. Are you looking for survivors?
Unlike the other survivors you've seen, this young man, despite a haggard look and a set of dirt-smeared, tattered clothes, wears a calm face and speaks with a steady voice. Yes, actually, my friend is looking for someone we were told might live around here.
Short lady, about my age. Came from Deerwood with her son. Let's see. Freckles, braids, usually. Punches you in the arm if she likes you. Face if not. Oh, and that's if you're lucky.
No, that doesn't sound like anyone.
The young man's face remains smooth, betraying neither surprise nor interest. We're in the right place. You must know her. She has a son about your age.
You gotta be her son. Got her nose and her freckles. You don't have to lie to me, kid. I'm a friend of your mother's. She hiding from someone? Maybe an ex-lover who gave her the best night of her life?
We're protecting her. You're protecting her. We understand.
No, I misspoke.
Forget it. Just tell me something. Your father, you know him?
I'm sorry, who are you?
Relax. Adair's a good man. Likes animals.
Lions, bats, and Orleans, to name a few.
Byrne nods without a hint of humor or personality.
Yes, I knew my father when I was very young. He was a man of strong faith.
Have to be. You get a lava mad, you need a god on your side for protection.
He was lost to us during the purges, which was how we came to flee here.
So you met him?
Byrne nods slowly.
Well, that's great. You had a dad.
A moment passes with Adair staring at Byrne with a strange undulating grimace drawn back across his face. He clears his throat.
Where's your mother now? Got a lot of catching up to do.
My mother is with Eothas.
Oh. There's a trace of a smile that seems to come with the last word. Adair looks confused. Meaning what, exactly?
She passed the veil a few years ago. A flu.
Adair's jaw slackens.
It's possible her soul has taken a new body by now. But if she was truly blessed, she marches instead beside the shining god.
The boy's hinted smile brightens, his eyes far away. Adair's face has gone scarlet beneath his farmer's tan. His nostrils pulsate with each heavy breath.
You lied to us. Said you didn't know her. Expect me to believe this now?
He takes a short step toward Byrne, who takes two backwards. It does look like he might be alone here.
Well, he hides his grief pretty well, doesn't he?
Adair stares the boy down, then turns away with a grunt and a not worth it gesture.
I'm not lying. She's buried on the other side of that hill.
He points northward.
How could she be gone?
Don't be troubled by her passing. All souls that march with Eothas receive his warmth and light.
Adair scowls. What do you mean march with Eothas?
Eothas has come to us twice now. Even Oblivion couldn't slow his march. We shouldn't have opposed his first coming. He meant to rally us under his banner.
I know a lot of dead Deerwoodans who will be relieved to hear that.
We were victims of a quarrel of gods.
And seeing what we've seen, it's hard to believe they got our best interests at heart.
Eothas forced everyone to declare themselves as ally or enemy, nothing more. Now he marches again, and we have a chance to correct our mistake.
Well, that's charitable.
I would like to have joined him when he passed this way, but I was weak. It won't happen again.
You seem confident in a god who's causing a lot of destruction.
You can't build on broken foundations. Real change needs destruction. I trust my god knows better than I do. He knows truths I'll never learn.
And got that right.
I was once lost. I struggled as you do now. But the partisans of the lighted path have restored my faith in Eothas.
At this, Adair looks up at Byrne.
What greater honor than to march in his vanguard?
Who are the partisans of the lighted path?
We began as children of the Dawnstars, separated from each other as we questioned our purpose. But then Eothas granted a vision to Gadarian Bosch. Bosch saw an illuminated path lighten the way through a black abyss.
The words fall from his mouth bulky and awkward, as though someone else had stuffed them there.
And he saw Eothas marching on the path, and Eothas bade him to march alongside.
Not quite how I've been seeing it, but everyone's open to their own interpretations.
And the Shining God told Gadarian Bosch to gather an army of the god's truest followers, and to prepare to lead it into battle.
Oh dear.
You'd think after getting blown up, he'd slow down on the battling.
Who does Eothas intend to battle?
We don't know. The end of the path hasn't been revealed to Gadarian Bosch yet, but to the faithful, it shouldn't matter.
And how will you join Eothas when he marches beneath the sea?
There'll be a great journey, but we're prepared. Gadarian Bosch knows the way.
Has this Bosch shown proof of his visions?
Eothas himself has appeared in Deadfire in the form Gadarian Bosch foretold. That's more proof than any of his faithful could ever ask. What fortune to be given this opportunity, to know our God in the living world.
And why did you lie to us about knowing Eothas?
Gadarian Bosch warned us. Those outside the partisans may ridicule us and test our faith.
Oh.
Especially our old families and others close to them. We've learned it's best to keep to ourselves and those with open minds, which relations and friends mostly aren't.
It's become a cult led by an angry god. Adair, did you get what you needed here? Adair takes a deep breath. He looks around, then at Bairn. He nods, tight-lipped.
We can go.
We'll be going then.
Hey, kid. What was your name again?
Bairn.
Right. This lighted path fellow, Bosch. Sounds interesting. There's some way I can meet him?
He's usually on the move, rallying followers. But the partisans of the lighted path often gather in the temple of Eothas in Neketaka. I seem to go there myself, in fact. There's an adherent there, Ogna, who initiates new partisans. No doubt she'd be pleased to help you. Eothas needs able soldiers, even in their elder years.
Adair spits.
You should consider what Ogna has to say. It might speak to you. Farewell.
Well, that's interesting. We'll definitely have to investigate them then. I don't know what's gonna come of it, but it's something to look for. Something to deal with. Looks like we have a few quests we can deal with there. Adair, do you have anything else to say?
I got time.
Talk to me about Bairn.
Wasn't what I expected, I know that much. I had this idea that maybe I'd get along with him. Either 'cause he was like his mom, or 'cause he was like, but it was like somebody talked him out of his personality. And when he looked at you, you got the feeling he was looking at someone a long ways behind you. It's not his fault. He's alone out here. And his mom was such a force. If she was so sure of herself, she'd have had that co-leader following her. Hard to replace something like that.
Well, that's definitely concerning.
Sure.
Either way, seems like we've taken care of everything in Hosongo. And that's everything we have to deal with here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here, because I have a feeling as soon as I slip out of here, we may end up getting attacked. Well, attacked? No, not attacked. Spoken to by the gods. That's probably about to happen. But that'll be in the next episode. So until then, I am Cheswick44, also known as Falai. That is Laniara, Adair, Joti, Maya, and Aloth. This has been a Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire. And I shall see you all next time.